Buckets. That's the name of my boat. Buckets.
Buckets. What we get.
Not the only transfer we got from Florida. Keith Stone, too. Remember that.
Everybody who watches his show on a regular basis knows my love of the stretch four.
You know, we all make mistakes. You might have made one going to
Mercy
Tallahassee.
if y'all don't know. Dribble to the left, cross over to the right. Hurricane to the game, many buckets for the night. Matt with the pick and roll, Melissa with the give and go. This Shelly, you pretty girl dunking in the hole. Check the scoreboard, this what we fall for. Beat the gameplay, they want an encore. Yeah, overtime for another round. It's buckets out the buckets, baby. You out of time. It's buckets. What it is, homie? It's buckets. Woo! We get buckets. Yeah, baby. Buckets.
I have no shame.
I know. That's the problem.
You guys are awesome.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Buckets. I'm Matt. He's Vish. She's Melissa. Guys, Melissa, how are we feeling?
I'm good. Oh, my screen just went blank, but it's back now. All right, I'm good.
I was about to say, guys, how are we feeling? And then I realized, I got to address one of you. So
I feel like I always answer first. I feel like next time we should ask Vish how he's doing first.
Vish, how are you doing?
I'm always fine.
Shout out to
There you
Coach
go.
Paige. Today's her birthday.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Coach Paige.
P2.
P2.
You gotta specify which coach page.
Well, she was the first Coach Paige on the show, but
Happy
We don't play favorite. We don't play favorites.
we don't
play favorites.
But we are completing the coaching flush tonight.
Yes, we are.
The last of the coaches from the women's team will be on the show tonight.
And as has become tradition, she showed up early. She's backstage. So
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Coach Cole, the tight ship. Everyone's like on time. We're just like waiting for the guests. Like, oh my god, are they not going to show up or not? But with the women's program, they're always like,
You're on time if you're 5 minutes early. You're late if you're on time.
we've
This
never-
actually would be the earliest of. It's not like 2 minutes before. It's like a full
I know.
7 minutes before.
I know.
We barely got the intro in. Matt's gonna talk about Chin.
So she's petting a dog. I think I can see her backstage. So
Oh,
there it is.
Bring her in.
More
Hold on. I gotta bring her. Wait, let's do an intro, but and I'll bring her in.
So completing the coaching flush. I was gonna say last but not least, but it's true. I was gonna say save the best for last, but that's not true. We love everybody equally. But completing the coaching flush, please welcome Associate Head Coach Jessie Ivey to the show.
This is
And-
Charlie.
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
I wonder if Charlie likes Chick-fil-A or Popeyes. We're gonna get to that shortly.
Charlie has a chicken allergy, so
Oh,
Oh.
so probably like Five Guys.
definitely. I mean, she loves chicken. It's just chicken does not love her.
No allergic reactions for dogs. No.
No.
Thank you
How
for
are
coming on,
guys?
Coach.
Yeah,
Welcome,
thanks for
welcome.
having me.
We're excited. It took a few tries. You guys were very busy, but we're glad you were able to squeeze us in. You were the last of the bunch.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to be here. Sorry, recruiting's been crazy.
No, recruiting is way more important than coming on our podcast.
Hey, whoa! Hold on.
I don't know about way more important,
Listen,
but,
they
line of the program.
nabbed a top 5 recruiting class in the first season. Like, obviously, there are more important things going on than our podcast.
Thank you. No, we were excited.
But I don't know if the other coaches warn you, but we have a little debate on our show. So we keep track. We have a list that's had to get smaller because one's kind of outdoing the other. But if you could only eat one chicken sandwich for the rest of your life, would you go to Chick-fil-A or Popeyes?
Popeyes.
Oh, let's go. Tally it up.
This is
Another one.
We are making a
girl.
comeback here.
Chicken for the win.
So that's an even 3-3 on the women's coaching staff.
I love how when someone says Chick-fil-A, she immediately turns around and writes on the board. She hasn't moved an inch.
All right. Hold on. You'll be right under Coach Page. Coach Muriel Page picked Popeyes also, and so did Coach Fitz.
There
So,
you go.
I believe we do the math, and the women's program favors Popeyes.
no, because the strength and conditioning coordinator picked Chick-fil-A.
But she said I don't eat fast food, so that's only like that should count like a half vote.
No counts. It's not like she said Bojangles. She picked Chick-fil-A, so it's 3-3.
That's her math because she wants Chick-fil-A. But
Yeah, I know. This is the dictatorship we live under here.
I am outnumbered because Matt and Vish are both Popeyes, so I have to hold my own with the guys on this show.
okay.
But anyway,
You're definitely outnumbered this show.
I'm very outnumbered this show. At least Coach Page and Coach Cullip also picked Chick-fil-A, so and Coach Brown. So I've got a few. But let's talk hoops because that's more important. We're excited because you're coming on after signing day, so we're gonna get to the recruit shortly because we haven't been able to talk about that yet. But
Right.
How are you enjoying Miami coming from Toledo?
I love Miami. It's gorgeous. I'm a Florida girl, so I love the beach. Any off day chance I have, I'm going out to the beach just to see the water. I miss fresh seafood. I love seafood so much. So it's been great. But I tell you what, one of the biggest things wherever I've been has always been like the people make the place, and it's no different here. So the people are awesome. You know, I love our team. I love our staff. It's just been a ton of fun.
Are you a fan of Monty's like the rest of them?
Yeah, Monty's. We went there like 4 times our first week here, and then it's been a rotating thing. So
You guys gotta get them to like sponsor the team or something.
Hey, that would be awesome. Yeah, they had some apparel out last time I was there, and I'm already got it on the Christmas list. So
we need some Monty's hoodies.
right.
Hoodies are my thing. Anyway,
I
so
need a sticker. I saw the sticker, the logo.
the
hoodie girl. You can finally figure out what to do with them.
I ordered a bunch just for me because you can't just order one. So I ordered 25.
So we've been trying to figure out what to do with all of them. So there you go. Give one to Coach Ivey.
We will get you a hoodie girl sticker for sure. I have merch too, but let's not plug the merch right now. We're here to talk. So you played at West Florida. How did you decide? How did you get into basketball, and what made you want to get into coaching?
Yeah. So I've been playing basketball. I'm from a small town, and the only 2 options that we had growing up to play, organized sports was t-ball and basketball. And so I have an older brother. He did both, so I did both. And he had the philosophy that if he couldn't beat me, he would physically beat me. And so he made me really tough. And I was always around he and his friends, and he's my best friend. He's still my best friend. So I just fell in love with it. I stayed close to home at West Florida, so it's like an hour away from my hometown. I'm from a 1 stoplight town, so it's a very, very small town. But I tore my ACL my junior year in college, and I was on the sideline rehabbing that. And after that, it puts you in a different perspective of seeing the game and the coaching side of it. And I just fell in love with that part of it. When I was finishing my undergrad, I had started my master's for my last year of playing because I had redshirted. And they said, if you'll stay on and help coach, we'll pay for your second year of your master's. So I was like, absolutely, because I needed that. So I stayed on. After that season, the coach I had played for resigned. And so they let me be a part of the search committee for hiring a new person. And with that process, we hired Stephanie Lawrence Yelton. And I remember thinking when she came in on her interview, and I was part of all of that and her talking to the team, that if I was able to play for a coach like that, I would have been a better player. And I just really craved that. And I wanted to have that impact on people. And I wanted people to see me that way. And so she let me stay on her staff. We took it from worst in the conference to first. We won the only championship they won in women's basketball there. And that was kind of the start. So after that, I was hooked, never went away. But she was a big, big reason of why I wanted to get into it.
Is college your thing? Like, do you have like any aspirations of like coaching in pro, or do you like that college atmosphere?
I love college. I love the time period of the kids from 18 to 22. Now for COVID, it was like 24. I felt like, but now we're getting back out of the COVID year, so 22. I think it's a pivotal time of kids' lives when they're figuring out who they are, who they want to be, and they're thinking for themselves for a lot of the first time. And I love being a part of that and helping them see things in themselves that at the time they might not be able to see.
Vish.
Yes.
You were there.
So after you got into coaching, can you kind of talk about how your journey and how you ended up at Miami? I know you came from Toledo with Coach Cullop, so kind of how you ended up, your journey to Miami.
Yeah. So I stayed at West Florida coaching. So I like I said, I was with Coach Yelton. We turned it around. I stayed with her, and then Bowling Green in Ohio called for an assistant job there. And so I went there for 2 seasons. I was part of the staff that got let go at BG for not winning enough. And I remember people when I got into the business were like, you're either a coach who's been fired or one who's going to be fired. And I was just like, no, that's never going to happen to me. I work hard, like never going to happen. And it did happen. And I was scared to death. I didn't know what to do. Out of that process, I got a D2 head coaching job at Tiffin University, which was in Ohio. So I was there for 2 years. I loved what we were doing. I loved our team. I loved what we were building. We broke a lot of school records, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And we upset the first top 25 team in program history. So it was a lot of fun. Then COVID happened. And as you know, with a lot of private institutions, D2, smaller schools, there was a lot of, anxiety going around about budgets and furloughs and all that kind of stuff. So Coach Cullop called. We had a great relationship. She was someone who always treated me the same, whether I was a Division I coach or a D2 coach. She always talked to me. She always reached out. She played me in 2 exhibition games when I was at Tiffin because she knew how important it was for us to get paid for those exhibition games to help fund our program. So she played me, she paid us, and she helped me buy our team winter coats for 2 years in a row. So when she called, it was a no-brainer. Toledo has always been top 4 or top, in everything in the MAC as far as facilities, fan attendance, just everything. They were always at the top. And Coach Cullop alone was someone that I had always respected and wanted to work for. So she called. I easily said yes. I went there, and I was there for 4 years. And the last 3 out of the 4 years, we won 3 championships in a row. So when she said Miami, I said when, and she said yesterday, and I came. So that was kind of how it happened.
So was that a difficult adjustment going? I know you have a great relationship with Coach Cullop, but going from being a head coach to then becoming an assistant coach again?
Yeah, everyone always asks that question. And I understand why, but no. I think if I would have worked for someone else, it could have been. But the way she runs her program, she gives so much, leadership abilities and, responsibilities of the program to her assistant coaches. She's always been someone that it's not, it's like the old adage, like it's not all apples, you need apples, you need oranges, you need pears, you need all of it to make it, the right kind of diet. And she's always that way. She says our staff and our team, we're eating from a buffet. We got to have a little bit of everything to have everything right. So she gives us the ability to coach and to teach, and she supports that. And so, no, it wasn't difficult.
Everyone we've talked to, because like I said, we've had all the other coaches on the show, have kind of said the same thing about Coach Cullop. That is like, once you talk to her, there's no question that you want to work for her. What type of environment does she create that kind of like, I know she brought you and Coach Page in from Toledo, but kept Coach Fitz, brought the other Coach Page in, and it seems like even from like the first week, you guys kind of just became like a family. Is that like the type of environment that she kind of just makes?
Yeah, no, I think that's the best way to say it. We had someone, this was when we were at Toledo, but it was actually a parent when we had an elite camp. And elite camps are usually very quick. They're 4 hours. There's a lot of moving parts, and you're doing a lot of things. And at the end of it, he kind of said, like, I'm just amazed. And we were like, well, why? And we're thinking like the facilities, the basketball, all these, chin, all these things that people love. And he was like, no, the program just screams family. When you see it, it just screams family. And I think that's the best way to say it. She's very particular about who she brings into the program. And that's the people on the staff and the players. They have to be quality people. And they have to honor, the same integrity and the characteristics that she does. Because her biggest thing is she wants, even on our worst day, for us to still want to come in the office, even on the players' worst day when they're 0 for 10, because there are going to be days like that, that they still want to come in the office. And that's something we really hang our hat on.
Yeah,
Coach,
we can tell she. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I want to ask, you talked about how she like instills leadership with the staff. And I wanted to ask though, too, I listened to a podcast that she was on, and she was talking about instilling that leadership in practice with players, like putting them in situations where they're kind of leading a drill or whatever. Have we kind of seen that in the off season or in practice yet? And can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So one thing she's always done is every practice, there's a practice captain. And so that person is named that practice captain for the day. We have a quote of the day. They have to read the quote. They say what the quote means. And that practice captain is kind of responsible for how practice goes that day. So if it's a bad practice, at the end of practice, coach is like, okay, let's give some feedback. What's going on here? And sometimes it's the captain, wasn't vocal enough. The captain has the ability to call a timeout during practice. She can huddle the team and get them back together. But sometimes the captain had a bad practice because, let's be honest, like the team was just really hard that day. Like we just weren't sprinting like we're supposed to. So it puts the weight of being a captain and a leader on everyone's shoulders. It's all through a rotation of who gets to do it. And it shows how difficult it is. And it also shows that when you're not the practice captain, you want to push and not put that on someone else. So we have been doing that since we got here this summer. It's been really, really good. We've had several timeouts called where the players have called it out. And, you start to hear things of what you're saying. They're repeating it. And, I'm a big person on boxing out and rebounding. That's very important to me. I don't care how good your defense is. If you don't finish with a box out and a rebound, it doesn't matter. And so it makes our little heart swell when we hear about, they're harping on boxing out and telling the other team, our teammates to do that. So she's very big on that. One of the biggest things we talk a lot about is it's not just about being a leader on the court. Our job as college coaches is we're developing leaders for the community, and for the nation after this. So we want to make sure we're doing our part.
Yeah, you speak on the rebounding and the boxing out. We've commented on the show a few times already, and I said it to Vish because we've been at the home game so far. Like Leah Harmon, for example, every time a shot goes up, we see her looking to put a body on someone. Haley's had like almost back-to-back double-doubles. So you can tell like the rebounding and the boxing out has kind of like has been harped on, just because you can see even like the shortest people on the court are getting like 8-9 rebounds.
Yeah. We gotta be a little bit better, but yes, we're working on it. Jacksonville had 17, so we're getting there.
That was a tough game. I'm not gonna harp on the officiating, but there's no way to get into a rhythm when a foul is called every 5 seconds.
Yeah. No, we got to be better, but no, they've been buying into it. They really have. And one thing we talk a lot about is showing them why we're doing something, not just like, hey, we're doing this drill because we want to. Like, no, it's important. And coach is really big on like, hey, I have 5 minutes for this drill, but if we get what we need out of it in 2 minutes, we're in practice early. So let's get in here, let's rep it out, let's get done.
The free throw shooting has been tremendous.
Well,
we've enjoyed the percentage upgrade.
Yeah, upgrade. Yes. So no, we coach's big thing is if we shoot 80% or higher from the free throw line and we win, she buys us ice cream. So we had ice cream. I had strawberry, so that was good. But yeah, she's really big on that.
Where was the ice cream from?
I don't know. I need to ask Margie and Lonnie because it was really good.
Okay.
Well, we're just happy to see those 70s and 80s percents because they were below 50 last season. So
It was
it's a
bad.
question
Yeah.
I've asked like every coach in the offseason. How's the free throw shooting? But there's one thing. So this National Signing Day was yesterday. And obviously we can't talk about recruits before they're signed, but since they're now signed, we can actually talk to you about it. So it's actually good that it took longer to get you on the show. But a top 5 recruiting class in your guys' first year in the program, and even less time to recruit because you had to come in the off season and kind of get the this year's team together. What kind of went into that? And I guess obviously 4 of the 5 are top 100 players. They all look amazing. One of them is like a soccer star too. So kind of let's talk about this awesome recruiting class.
Yeah, thank you. We're pumped. We really, really are. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to relationships. 2 of the players we had previous relationships at Toledo with, and we're super pumped that they decided to come. And obviously, Miami was a difficult sell for them. The other 3 kids, Coach Fitz played a huge part in his relationships with, AAU programs, but also the families and the student athletes themselves. I just think as a whole, Muriel Page, Coach, I see you got a happy B-Day P2 back there. So I appreciate that. But I just think as a whole, our staff does a really good job of building relationships. And working on building that connection, not just with the student athlete, but their circle that surrounds them. And I think at the end of the day, people want to play for Coach Cullip. She's an excellent X and O coach, but even more than that, she's an amazing human. And we work really, really hard with her being the leader of building those relationships and making those players know that they're a priority for us and they're going to remain that way. Once you sign with Miami, it's not just a 4-year decision, it's a lifetime decision because you're stuck with us. And good or bad, you got us. So we're going to be there on your good days and your bad days. But it's been a lot of fun. To see the ranking was pretty cool too.
Yeah, I know you guys had been getting a lot of recruits, but to see that top 5 ranking, we were celebrating last year's class. I think it was like 18, a lot of talent, and we're like, wow, top 5. It's just the foundation of the program it keeps getting built. But I'm sure as far as you guys were really good at Toledo and being able to sell Toledo, so coming to Miami, has that just the brand itself helped you guys obviously?
Yeah, and CCH actually has a question in the chat similar. It's you're able to kind of recruit a different caliber of athlete now that you're at Miami versus Toledo.
Yeah, of course. No, absolutely. There's some kids that we're able to talk to, that we just weren't able to have conversations with when we were at Toledo. And it's no disrespect for Toledo or mid-majors. It's just the caliber of the kid. They're a Power 4 player. They're not a mid-major player. So that's definitely helped. Coach Page, DP, and I, because we both came from Toledo, we just love the logo, the U. Everyone knows it. You're walking down and everyone flashes it. So it's been really, really cool for us. There are some, coaches who wouldn't pick up our phone call from Toledo, and now they pick it up on the first ring from Miami. So it's been a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, one of the coaches they've called and said Toledo, and they're like, "Where's that?" I'm like, "Everyone knows where Miami is."
Yeah, exactly.
Do you? I know a lot of the coaches have basketball backgrounds. Do you guys have a little coaches game, go 1-on-1 or 2-on-2?
No, we're more we play horse. I think we're not going live. We don't do too much defense anymore. I think most of us have had some type of injury that's required surgery, and we're too busy to have to do surgery now. We can't do that. We got too much recruiting to do. So we'll play horse every once in a while. But Coach Fitz ran a down and back today to prove to the team he could do it. So he did it. So he would be the one that would hop out there.
Who's winning horse the most of the coaches?
That's a great question. I think it depends on the day. I'd say probably DP. DP's probably got the best stroke. I've beat her one time, and that's my claim to fame is that I beat an Olympian at horse, and I'm just gonna stay with that. So
have you beat the other Coach Page? She's an Olympian too, no?
Yeah, we have not played horse against each other yet. So it's probably smart by my part that I keep delaying that. So
I mean,
I don't like setting myself up for failure.
She's a WNBA vet too. I mean, that would be some good looks on the resume.
Yeah, she led the WNBA in field goal percentage one year. She's got this trophy in her office, and I don't know if you've heard this, but Coach Cullip was like walking by, and she's like, "What's that trophy for?" And Muriel was like, "Oh, I led the WNBA in field goal percentage one year." And we were like, "What? Why is that not like out in the front office? Like you're just so nonchalant about it." So.
She seems like she's like a very chill, like humble human because she was on our pod a few weeks ago. So we had to give her a hard time about being a Gator, but like even she was like, "No, I'm fully Miami like now." So like we couldn't even pick on her because she's like, "No, it's all about the U." So
no, she's awesome. She's an amazing human, and our whole staff. I think the world of them, and it has been a big family since we got here.
We think the world of you guys too. You guys have been very willing to come on the show. Like Coach Cullip came on after like some random person DMs her and she's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come on the show. Why not?" So we're much appreciative. And then the shoes on top.
Oh yeah, gotta make sure you guys are outfitted correctly. So
we're all like reluctant to wear the shoes because they're like team issue shoes, like you can't scuff them up.
They're so beautiful.
So
I know.
I was saying I might get Coach Cullip and all you to sign them and frame them or something. I don't know. I don't feel like I can wear them.
We're all about the merch. You should see the hoodie collection.
Oh yeah, it's, we are too as coaches. We love it as well.
Are you a baseball fan?
Yes, I am a baseball fan.
Because one of our usual viewers is a big baseball fan, and so the Miami Hurricanes baseball team. I'm not sure if you're aware of the milkbakes at the baseball games.
Yes, I have been. I came when I got here in the spring. That was someone told us about that immediately, and DP and I were living across the street at the hotel at the Thesis, and so we came over, and I think I got the JD. Milkshake. Yeah, it was delicious. It was actually the night Coach threw out the first pitch.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So
you gotta go through all of them, and then wait till they have theme weekends where they just come up with the most random concoctions to represent the team that we're playing.
Okay.
Like we were in regionals 2 years ago, and they had like a lobster bisque milkshake.
Oh,
so we're playing Maine.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
we were playing Maine, so it gets a little weird. But if you try the regular ones, they're really good.
Yeah, it gets a little weird, meaning I will buy one and she'll record me eating it to make fun of me. So
Vish is willing to try everything.
I'll try it just like for the content, I guess. It's not. I haven't finished any of them.
I'll take your word for it.
It's really weird concoction.
Yeah. The brisket was like chunky. It was disgusting. Anyway,
I don't know if I can do that.
Some of the other coaches have talked about Coach Fitz's workouts and his drills that are pretty intense. And I know you and him work with the guards, right?
Yes. Yeah. Guards and the defense.
Well, oh yeah, you're the defense one.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's some of the tough workouts that he puts the players through?
I don't know if it's so much like the workout is tough. I just think Fitz is he's a great teacher and he holds everyone to a very high standard. Like he doesn't let you give a 5, like you're going to give a 10 and he's going to pull the 10 out of you and he's going to be enthusiastic about getting the 10 out of you. And once you hit the 10, he's going to celebrate you. I just think he does a great job of pulling everyone's best out of them. And then he hypes everyone up because everyone's pumped when they reach that point and make him proud. So I think he does a really good job.
One of our viewers is saying that you guys should schedule a Penn State because they have really good homemade ice cream on campus.
I've heard that. I've never been there, but I did hear that they've got an ice cream spot. And I love ice cream, so I'm down for that.
You need to go to Walls.
Walls.
It's next to the Big Cheese right on US 1 and Ludlam.
Okay.
It's like this little hole in the wall ice cream spot, but like that was like they have like a million flavors.
Okay, Walls. I'm putting it in my notes right now.
Yeah, I mean, I live down here and I went to school here. Vish went to school here too, so we can tell you all the good dessert spots
Please.
to hit up.
Yeah. All the spots. I love food, so.
Has Coach Fitz told you the good spots to go? Because he seems like a foodie. When we had him on, he was talking about some of his favorite spots.
Yeah, I tell you what, because we've had so much official visits and unofficial visits and recruiting and stuff like that, we kind of, Coach Fitz and Lonnie did us right. We got to try all the best food in Miami, I feel like, just on the recruiting visit. So it was a lot of fun because it was the first time we were like on the visit too. So yeah, I got to eat a lot. I gained some weight though. I've been having to lose a couple pounds after this signing class, but no,
You got to
we
do
did.
the workout with the players.
Yes, yeah, we try and get in when we can.
Our Canes Cat Seats asking about, since you guys have
Well, let me clean this up a little bit. So, so since you signed a big class and an elite class this year, how much harder does that make it to recruit next year when they know that there's all these freshmen in front of them? You know, if you're talking about the 2026 class, they're looking at the 25 class, thinking like how much does that make it easier or harder? Do they like, oh, we want to join that, or is it more difficult because they're like, well, there's a lot of competition to get on the court? And then also, how much do you think the success of the team on the court this year would play into that?
Yeah. Well, I think the way we look at it is if there's a kid who sees it as like competition and like, oh, I don't want to go there because, there's too much competition, then that's probably not the kid for us, it's also like position based. We're really big on making sure we fill the right type of player in the position that we need and the needs for the team. So we really focus on that. I think, personally, I think it helps us. I think the kids that we're after want to play with great players because they want to chase down championships like we do. So I don't think it hurts us. I think it helps us.
I think that also, as far as, bringing in these talented players and clicking with the freshmen, as far, bringing in next year's freshman class, but also it will help in the portal as well to kind of fill the holes as you're rebuilding the program. I think all of that kind of will help in general, bring in a few people from the portal. And so the new kids have people to learn, players to learn from and look up to and kind of just a whole circle.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, and I mean, winning helps everything. Winning, there's no better way to say it. It helps every part of the program. So,
yeah, I mean, and good start so far, 2-0. I mean,
well, I do want to talk a little bit about Nat Marshall and that performance she put on was
that's what I was getting to.
And one of the things, so Trevor sends that we're kind of on the distro for like the press releases and all that. Yeah. And Trevor sends it out. And I couldn't believe she had not made a three and only attempted one in 3 years at Notre Dame, and then she made three on against Jacksonville, and obviously the free throw line and just all over the court, and needed every one of those points. Can you talk about her growth since she's been here, and also, I guess, what was the impetus to have her step out and shoot threes? Because she's attempted 8 this year and made 3 of them. She's shooting a good percentage, and at Notre Dame, it just wasn't part of her game there.
Yeah. I want to give a lot of credit to both pages because they're the post position coaches, and they've really worked a lot with Nat on her shot. And to say that Nat has also put in a lot of time on working on her shot. So Coach Cullup runs a lot of sets that cater to players' abilities and what they're able to bring to the program. And to put them in successful positions. She works really hard at that. And she has certain plays for each player on the team so that they can showcase their skills. And once a player gets hot, we keep feeding that player. Nat got hot, we kept feeding her. So I think credit to everyone working hard, but Nat getting in the gym, and then, the coaches putting confidence in her. But I was just really happy for her. I think the player or the picture they put up of her like throwing the 3 at the half court, I told her that's like my favorite photo. That's her contact photo now. So, but yeah, I was really happy for her to see that.
Yeah, we had assumed she was shooting threes at Notre Dame because everyone we talked to, like, oh, she can stretch the floor and do all these things. And then it was just like, the release says she's only taken 1 shot.
I was like, is that a misprint? I went started looking up the stats. Like, nope.
Our group text after the Jacksonville game, because I was at work, so I caught pieces of it. And Matt's texting me like, Nat Marshall's a beast. And I was like, I know she wasn't even starting at Notre Dame. This is insane. What a steal. But like we were going insane. And then it was just like a whole text of Chin series.
Yeah.
That's an assistant coach at his old high school. So he's all about the offensive game plans. And so as we're all watching the game, he's texting us like, oh, I think they just ran Chin. And that was such great ball moving into the post and then the pass out for the 3. So he's a big fan. We've been bothering Coach Page about Chin series.
I was wondering where all the Chin comments were coming from. So
it's
you?
Yeah, it's me. And then Melissa just kind of runs with it. She just likes saying Chin. So she just rides with it. But I mean, I feel like this lines up to a question I wanted to ask. So
okay.
I saw you smirk, Matt, when she started mentioning the different plays.
When she said offensive sets, yeah. So I was immediately, yeah. Coach Page had mentioned that you guys, you obviously run Chin, but also that you guys like to use a Chin set to kind of run other things as well. Can you kind of talk about like why you guys look to do that, like what it provides for you guys as a team?
Yeah, I think the way that Coach masked a lot of our sets in Chin, even though it's not a typical Chin set, it makes us really difficult to scout. I have had to scout Coach Cullop's teams before when I worked at the rival school, and it is not fun. It's very, very difficult to scout that. And I think you're able to catch defenses kind of on the fly because they're not ready for it. So, a big piece of it is also read and react. And you want to teach the fundamentals and then give them options of what to run based on what the defenses do. Because at the end of the day, the defense can't stop everything, but you've got to read it and react to it quick enough to be able to take advantage of that. And that's our job, is to make sure they're successful at that.
Yeah, I got to say, too, that split action when the slot throws it into the post, that was, I think Darion had like 2 or 3 threes from it.
Yeah.
That was something I was like, okay, let's take a look at that. I told my other coach, I was like, hey, let's get this in the playbook.
Yeah. TCE, man, she's a genius at X's and O's. She does a really good job with it.
Yeah, but I also wanted to ask you, too, I know you work a lot with the guards and a lot just defense in general, but I wanted to ask you about a specific player. I wanted to ask you about Nay Adams. Something that's really stuck out to me is just the amount of pressure she puts on the ball. She's an absolute dog defensively. Can you talk a little bit about her?
Yeah, Coach Fitch is going to be really happy you said a dog, because he's always kind of like, are you a Chihuahua or a dog? Which one are you? So yeah, Nay is a dog. She's in the gym every morning. She's an early bird. So we actually have a 6:45 a.m. workout tomorrow morning before practice and before she has 8 a.m. class. But she is just the epitome of someone who puts in the work. She is a big, we talk a lot about you're either energy vampire or you're energy giver, and she's a giver in everything she does. So besides the defense with on ball, she took 3 charges in the Jacksonville game. There's nothing that we love to see more. But
that's dog mentality.
Yeah, it is. Not Chihuahua, but it's dog mentality. So
Matt has a favorite player, if you hadn't noticed.
I was losing my mind. I forgot to mention the 3 charges. I was losing my mind texting. I think I was texting the group or Melissa. And that was awesome to see.
Yeah. She's such a big spark for us. And then, I thought the past 2 games you've seen too, Leah's had a couple good deflections where she's hitting on the break, and they've got some breakaway layups. But yeah, Nay lets the game come to her. She doesn't force anything, and she earns every bit of it. So yeah, big Nay fan.
There we go.
I mean, obviously we haven't seen Simone on the court yet, but I mean, Leah and Nay both, like,
yeah,
you can't even tell that they're freshmen. Like, that you can throw them in and there's not like a drop off. And we've discussed the depth on the team too. Like, it just seems like whoever you rotate through, you're gonna have good stuff on the court. But for me, I was a big fan of Lamaya last year, so I'm really glad. It's nice to see her back on the court, and
Yeah.
And she's got no fear. That first bucket she made on that layup and coming down on her leg, I was like, be good.
No, we're very excited about her. Yeah, she continues to work really hard and get herself back on the court. So yeah, we're excited.
So before we let you go, Coach, because these interviews go so fast, it's already been half an hour. You got to give us a suggestion on who we should try to get on the show next. We're working on Baby D. Like every other coach has said her. I'm in contact with her now. So after Darion, who is the next person we should get on the show?
I would say Nay. I think she both of them actually have such fun personalities. And I think they would be a really good show and a good insight to what's going on in the program. So yeah, they're both really good choices.
That's 2 votes for Nay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Coach Page, Muriel Page said Nay also. So
yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Vish, anything to add before we let Coach go?
No, it's actually been more than 30 minutes when we started early. We've held a lot. We've taken a lot of our time.
Well, we had to get into Chin. Matt's our breakdown guy, so we always have to have the nerdy segment. So
hey, I love it, Matt. We can keep talking about Chin whenever you want. So
okay, there was another. I'll have to send you a message about one of the other plays.
Ask it, Matt. Go quick.
Go for it.
No, there was one. So okay, I want to say, I wish I had. I think I sent the clip to my other coach, but there was one play that stuck out to me. It was the one.
Matt's literally sending me clips.
It was like to create like a double gap for Hannah I think it was Hannah to get that wide open layup.
Okay.
I'll send you I'll have to send you like a DM about it.
Yeah.
That one I was like, oh, that's going in the book too. That was nice. It was like Nat came up and it was almost like a brush screen or something.
Okay.
Where like her defender kind of where Hannah's defender had to kind of go over the top, so Hannah got the first step and it was like a wide open driving lane for her.
One thing that I've learned a lot from Coach on is we're very detail oriented, and it's we talk a lot about the angles of how you set screens or how you set brushes because of what advantage we want to create. So she's really big on the details.
Yeah. And I might have been imagining it, but did we see a couple horn sets too?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, horn sets.
We run some of those too. Okay.
Yeah.
If you only saw our text message conversations about the offense.
No, I love it.
And there was quite a bit about the officiating too. A lot of foul calls.
Can I ask,
we know you can't discuss it, but this show is our show that after you're off, we're going to be discussing the game, and there's going to be some choice words about the officiating. We know you have to remain professional, but we'll do it for you.
Okay.
Can I ask though too? It's like from a coach's perspective, when a game is being called a certain way, where like a lot of fouls are being called for contact like that. Like, how do you get your team to still be focused? Still hone in on playing good defense and whatnot. Like how does that change during the game?
Well, I think one thing was like we got a lot of opportunities at the free throw line. Like, yes, they were calling a lot of fouls on us, but they called a lot of fouls on them too. And so, for us, we were able to make a lot of points at the free throw line. So focusing on that, let's just get our points where we can get them. We're getting them at the free throw line. Let's get there, and then, the game plan might adjust a little bit. Like, hey, they're calling a tight whistle. Okay. So we're going downhill. We're trying to get to the free throw line. We're going to post up. You're going in, they're going to call a foul. Okay. So go in strong. Don't fade away, go in strong. So I think you adjust a little bit that way. And then defensively, it's like, okay, no hands, like hands off, like you can't touch them. We have to be able to adjust to what they're calling. And that's going to happen every game. But I think just focusing on what we can control is the biggest thing. And, the Jacksonville game was knocking down our free throws, and knock on wood, they did that.
Real quick, did it adjust your game plan in a way? Like, I know you guys like to run more of like an up tempo type offense with with the other team being at the free throw line so much and not being able to force turnovers. Did it force you guys to use more offensive sets because you weren't getting those fast break opportunities, or did it hamper the offense a little bit?
Yes and no. I mean, you can say like we weren't able to run as much because there was a lot of stoppage of play, or you can say like we had more opportunities to set up, an offensive set or whatever and get to the free throw line. So I think you can look at it in so many ways, but it's definitely a much slower game than we wanted it to be. And I'm sure both teams probably would have said that.
Okay. All right, Coach. We've hold you longer than we planned to, but thank you so much for talking with us. I'm gonna get you one of those stickers at the next game.
Okay.
So we'll look for you. But
I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for everything you do for the program and for us individually. We just really, really appreciate you, and very, very grateful to be somewhere that has people like you. So thank you. We're big fans, and if there's ever anything we can do as a program or I can do, just let us know. So.
We're big fans too. We do this for fun. We're not. This isn't like a job. Like we just love to cover you guys. So the pod was formed from Coach Meyer naming it. So this has the women's program written all over it. So you guys are welcome on anytime. And then we're gonna let Nay know we're gonna be reaching out to her.
I will. She'll be pumped. So,
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much, Coach.
All right. See you guys. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
That was awesome.
So,
going on 40 minutes.
CCH, we've had the strength and conditioning coach on Spree Brown. Go scroll up in the feed or find the podcast episode.
We've had Coach, and she picked Chick-fil-A. Coach Ivey picked Popeyes, unfortunately, but we are on a roll here. For Fitz, Muriel, and Jesse, you guys got 3 of the women's.
Vish, we so up, dog.
I'm not doing that. I'm not falling for that.
What? No, I'm not telling the joke. No,
the up dog joke.
No. I'm saying we so up. So okay, sorry. We so up.
You gotta pause.
Dog, like comma. Yeah, sorry.
You gotta pause.
Insert comma. Can I just say, like, it's been so nice getting all the coaches on. Like, how much they expand on everything. Like, next time we just need to let Matt ask all of the breakdown questions.
I feel bad because I didn't have that one ready. I would have asked, but I was trying to remember in my mind exactly like where everyone was on the floor. But I'll just have to send her a DM or something.
Yeah.
So, should we play our sponsor and then get into the next set?
Well, you want to do the sponsor, or do you want to go straight into talking about the women's game and then I don't know, whatever you want.
Let's do a sponsor.
Sponsor first. Yeah. Take a nap, everyone.
I can blow my nose now.
See, look at me doing community service here.
Thank you, Vish.
That bouncing ball can only mean one thing. It's time to hoop. And with Underdog Fantasy, you can play higher or lower on all your favorite players, like Miami's own Tim Hardaway Jr. I love Underdog's Win Now feature, which lets you cash out whenever you want. So join over 5 million fans that are already playing on Underdog. And with their Pick'em game, you could win money by making entries with your favorite players. Download the app today and use code 5REASONS to get up to $1,000 in bonus cast instantly. That's UnderdogFantasy.com and the offer code 5REASONS to get up to $1,000 in bonus cast. That is FIVEREASONS. Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hey.
That actually is a lot shorter because Vish reads that a lot quicker now at the end.
Yeah, they anyway. Well, anyway, we're back. Well,
Matt
yeah, let's talk.
Matt was teaching me about chin all day today. Sending me.
I still have to send you the second and third part of it.
So can we talk about the Jacksonville game?
Yeah.
That's what Melissa wanted to do before I played the
Coach said she had an absolute blast. And guys, congrats. We've completed the coaching flush. Good stuff.
There we go.
All right.
Jacksonville.
Wait, Vish,
Listen,
are we going to talk about the game now?
let's talk
I,
about
I would like to, yes.
let's talk
Okay.
about the game. Hold on, I'm bringing up the stats. Okay, here we go. All right. So we beat Jacksonville by 3. And if we didn't hint at it enough, the officiating was terrible.
How many
Well,
total free throws in the game? Does someone
There
have that
was-
in front of them?
all right.
It was like 60, right, or something? Or no, that was fouls. It
It was like
58 fouls. or
58.
something.
I think it was 56 free throws or something like that.
Jeez.
Melissa's got the stats in front of you, right?
I am. I'm pulling it up right now. So we shot 28 free throws. We were 24 of 28 from the line. And they were 22 of 30 from the line.
So 58 free throws.
So let me ask a
Wait, how
question
many?
about this.
Yeah. 58 free throws.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard incorrectly. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was
Go ahead, Vish.
58. But so
We had 25 personal fouls. They had 31 personal
Go ahead,
fouls.
Vish.
Sorry.
So do you, that's fine. What are you apologizing for? So do you think? So she said, we need to, adjust to the way the game was being officiated. Do you think we did that? Because it felt like we never really. I understand there were a lot of those where ticky tack. If to be generous, some of them you're like, I don't know what you do. They're just standing there and then they call a foul. But
Yeah.
I just don't know how you can adjust where every tiny little contact is a foul.
well, Coach Ivey was.
To the hoop.
Well,
I mean,
that's why I'm asking the question because Coach Ivey said, like we were trying to stress, okay, you cannot put your hands on them. I don't know that we ever really. It's hard. It's not easy to do, obviously, to play defense without contact. But
I mean, you're not going to play defense like this. Like,
yeah, I just don't know that we made that. I think I was actually hopeful. Sometimes these officials do that in the first half and then realize they're acting a fool and then come out in the second half and call it normally. But I think they called 2 fouls on Haley in like the first 30 seconds of the second half. I'm like, okay, it's still happening. Actually, generally, when they call both fouls on a bunch of both teams, they bet the under. I mean, they bet the over because we just call a bunch of fouls, the score rises, and then you hit the over. So that's generally what they do. If they were compromised, but I don't think they were doing that.
they called 13 fouls on us in the second half.
Right, I just know they immediately they called 2 quick ones on Haley in the second half, and she got to her I think 3rd or 4th foul, and then they let her play through it a little bit in the first half.
They only had 3 fouls, yeah.
In the first half they pulled her pretty quickly, and
everybody on our team had at least 2 fouls, and we had 2 with 4 fouls. Can't remember.
I mean, but it's the same thing for them. So I don't know that we necessarily did adjust to the. I think offensively we did because we were definitely taking it inside more. I think. Playing a little bit more inside out because they were whistling everything. But I don't know defensively that we did actually make the adjustments Coach Ivey was saying to tell them to do because it felt like we were still using our hands. And again, a lot of it was soft foul calls that you'd like to see not called both ways. But I don't know that we made that adjustment.
I mean, at least it was shitty on both sides.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely it was bad, not biased.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
It was just flat out bad on both sides. But thankfully, we made more free throws than they did, and that was the difference in the game because they shot 73% from the line and we shot 85% from the line. So there's your difference.
Yeah, and Jacksonville did turn around and blow out FIU. So I mean, they're not that FIU is the gold standard or anything. But they might be a little bit better too than we thought.
That guard that they had too, I can't remember her name. She was a really good scorer as well.
Yeah,
was it Eden?
Battle number 10
or Battle?
Yeah. Battle was really good.
Yeah, she had 21 points.
Yeah, no, they were probably a little bit better than I thought. But I'm curious how that game would have played out if the officiating had been a little bit more, normal. We're lucky we have depth too because we were able to. Sit people in foul trouble.
We're lucky we have Nat Marshall. Can I read her stat line? 24 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 13 of 14 from the free throw line. 6 boards in 30 minutes.
Yep, career highs on several of those numbers.
And like we said, she'd only taken 1 3 ever at Notre Dame. So
three or four on when we needed it on Monday. So
those nice top of the key threes.
They're going to be open in chin. Seriously.
We gotta get like a whiteboard so we can like draw out the plays.
We don't have to do that.
You've gone a step too far from that.
He'd have to move the shoes. It's not happening.
Well, we definitely don't want to play the clips because the last time we did that, Matt Knight did that.
He was sending me clips though.
No, but last time we did that on air, YouTube kept disabling the stream for copyright violations.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So,
I was at work for that one, but I remember you guys saying.
Yeah, no, we cut the stream multiple times in another show. So looking ahead, big game on Saturday. The women play at UF.
Yep.
That's gonna be a really good test to see where this program is at. I mean, it's early, but
well, so UF is undefeated. They haven't really played a competitive game, and I will say one thing that I'm interested to see is they play an actual like legitimate center in I'm gonna mispronounce. There's a space in here, but Rashaya Kyle. And she logs a lot of minutes. So I'm wondering if that'll actually maybe be a little bit better for Cam. Because I think she struggled a little bit with the whole as we fed the ball into her. Like the opponents we played have not had a big. So what they've done, they swarmed her. They haven't really allowed her to like. So I'm wondering, playing more traditional center might actually be a better game for her to just because she's really good in the post. But she hasn't really had an opportunity to show that because she gets the ball. We
haven't seen her go 1-on-1 down.
Yeah, exactly. There's a bunch of little gnats picking at her. It's like, damn, can't get my shot up. So I think that might be better for her. But the leading minutes played so far for UF this season, Kansas Salgas.
Oh.
Wow.
For those that remember Ken's when she was one of our players a couple years ago.
Interesting.
She transferred to UF before last year, and yeah, she is now. I mean, they've played 3 blowouts, so they've rotated a lot. But she is the starting point guard and is their leading minutes getter. So I think against us, she'll play a lot more. Go up against Haley.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Who she did, keeping in mind, she did play with the Cavenders because she transferred after that.
Yeah, she was a part of the Elite 8 run.
Yeah. So, so that'll be an interesting familiar face there. They have beat FAU, FAMU, and Chicago State. So those are the 3 games all at home, and obviously they're getting us at home as well. That is Saturday at noon in Gainesville on SEC Network Plus. If you have that.
It'd be interesting. Be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, this is our first road game, obviously, too. I think coming into the year, we probably expect to be better than them, but we'll see.
What do you guys think the rotation is going to look like?
I don't know. I feel like everyone we've seen has been very capable. So, like, I could see everyone.
I think. I think absent foul trouble because that's always a wild card. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see the same starting 5: the Cavenders, Nat, Cam, and Jasmine.
Yeah.
But I think we've been playing Nat a lot at center, and unless someone gets into foul trouble, which as Melissa said, everyone got into foul trouble against Jacksonville the way they were repping that. I don't think we're going to see Albies. I think we're going to see Nat play the backup center and probably shorten the rotation there at the bigs position. because I do think we're still going to want to get Leah Harmon and A. Adams on the court a lot.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to do that, there's less minutes. So I think that's where we're at right now.
It might just be personnel matchups. There might be little twists to the lineup. I haven't really watched Florida, so I'm not.
Well, I mean, they're like Ken's is not a big point guard or anything. I mean, we'll be able to I think we'll be able to play a little smaller in the backcourt, and be interested if Nat can guard, their center, when Cam's not in, or if we have to bring in another, because we have depth at that position. As I think what Matt's alluding to, you play a competitive. Well, I mean, the last game was competitive. But it was all sorts of.
Abby's is a smaller center as well.
Yeah.
So, unless we can get her into foul trouble early, their center, have Cam go at her.
But I think we shorten the rotation here. I think we're just gonna maybe see some minutes for Lamaya, and obviously Darion will play. But that's probably it off the bench. Them two and the two freshmen, I think, and maybe not even Lamaya. So based on the way Coach I was describing, she's probably not all the way back yet, 100%. So
It's nice to see her back, though. I was a big fan of her. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think they'll continue to do that. But it's a good, good early season road test. But yeah, no, I think that, I think to further answer Matt's questions, I think our starters are going to log a ton of minutes.
Yeah.
We've been by force against Jackson with all the foul trouble, having to rotate heavily. I think our starting five, again, Parrish's question, that is our best five. So I expect to see them log most of the minutes, especially in an environment like that. There's a ton of experience. They're all seniors on that, and they've all played a lot of basketball in big environments. So when you go on the road in a tough place to play, you're going to want that, lean on that experience. So
yeah, absolute foul trouble.
I mean, but assume the game. That's assume the game is not ref the same way. But yeah, I mean, do we want to do Parrish asked for predictions? Do we want to do that?
I mean, I'm always going to predict a Canes dub. I don't really know a lot about Florida. I didn't even think about that we were going to be talking about the next game.
It's in 2 days, man. 2 days.
I was focused on the interview and breaking down the last game, so I didn't really I didn't show prep well, apparently.
Yeah, I think we should go. We should be able to go in there and win. But it's not going to be an easy one. So
nah. That's definitely a step up in competition for sure.
All right.
It's good to go into a hostile environment against, a power conference team because, you got the SEC, ACC challenge. So we're going to be playing Vandy at home. So Vandy was a tournament team last year.
Still our spot.
Vandy was
I'm doing air quotes for a reason.
They screwed us
massively.
Gotta stay hydrated.
I will say, if this game is tight, Jasmine Roberts is the best player on the court, and that matters. So I'm confident going in there.
Here we go.
I'm comfortable with agreeing with that statement.
All right, should we move on to the?
I'm also really confident in Nat Marshall. Like, what a freaking steal, man!
Oh no, Nat's been awesome, and she is
just insane.
Generally, at the end of games, you need guard play, and I trust the ball in Jazz's hand. So
I would trust the ball in Haley or Hannah's hands, honestly, too. But I mean, Jasmine's like.
I would too. I think just in terms of if we're gonna ISO someone, I don't know that Haley or Hannah.
Jazz had a big bucket at the end of last game.
No, that's where we went with the
Yeah.
ball when we needed an actual non-free
Jazz's
throw.
mid-range game is like.
She's the reason we are an Elite 8 team 2 years ago instead of a Sweet 16 team because she won that Villanova game. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
Including
Haley made those free throws to get us to the Sweet 16. So
yeah, I kind of feel like that's Destiny's game.
true, but Haley was a big part of it.
Haley missed one of the free throws too in that game after she man, you got to rewatch the end of that game. Anyway, but Destiny totally didn't travel. That did not happen.
It was definitely not a travel.
It was not a travel.
It wasn't a travel. She established a pivot foot.
Yes, multiple times with different feet. It was, sight to behold. Anyway, oh no, we do run a lot of motion. I'm not worried about that. I'm just talking about late game situations. Late game situations, you need guards that can create their own shot, and we have that.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to discuss the men's game really quickly?
Sure, we can do that.
So the men played Binghamton. We won 88-64. We had 2 players with 17, Jalen Blackman and Nigel Pack.
Matt
Cleveland with a double-double. Oh, not a double-double, but he had 9 and 11. I know Vish had something he wanted to say.
Yeah, so I know after the game, Coach L saying he's still working on his rotations. I don't understand his rotations, to be honest. Jaleel needs to play more. 14 minutes a game is just not going to cut it. From a talent standpoint, he needs to be on the court more. Matthew Cleveland is clearly should be the starting small forward. Like I don't know what precipitated that he didn't. He missed a game or he missed the exhibition game, and then he's been coming off the bench. I mean, it's a night and day quality improvement when he's on the court.
He missed like 17 days or whatever of practice. They were saying with injury.
Yeah, I
working him back in, but
he's the starter for sure.
Well, we keep saying that, but until he's actually the starter, he's not the starter, right? So I mean, all I'm saying is I am confused by some of the rotations, and if we're gonna play, and when you start thinking about who do I want on the court, like if Divine is gonna, take the backup point guard minutes, because initially, coming into the year, as we've talked about on this show frequently, thought he was gonna redshirt and Jalen Blackman will really be the backup point guard, and that's where the minutes would come from. But if that's not happening and Divine's getting like 10 minutes a game backup point guard, you still want Nigel to get his minutes. You want Jalen Blackman to get his minutes. You want Jaleel to get his minutes. Matthew Cleveland needs to play a lot. I don't see how Staten McRae is going to continue to get 20 plus minutes a game. To me, he is starting and getting that. He's playing more than Jaleel is.
He played 18 minutes last game. Jaleel played 16.
Average-wise.
I also have to assume that, some of these minutes are coming from the end of the game. Swartz got some minutes. Johnson Arigu got some minutes. I don't know that
that's where Jaleel's minutes are coming too, though. In the competitive parts of the game, we're not playing him. I don't know. I feel like you run the risk of being too cute with this shit sometimes. It's like, look, just put him on the court. I get it. Coach L doesn't like to play freshmen. He's going to work him in. He's going to make him earn it. No, throw his ass on the court. To me, sometimes you can overthink these things.
He's got so much talent. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I think you can fall into a little bit of a trap of we're going to ease him in all this. No, he needs to play. He needs the court time. Was it next week or 2 weeks from now? We're going to Charleston playing a term. You need him to have court time before then. So I would prefer if we stop with the we're trying to figure it out. So is he going to figure it out to Jaleel not playing? Of course not. So put him on the court. I don't know why we're playing games with some of this stuff. Because it does feel like there's a talent drop off. I mean, it's not last year's 6 guys, but we have 6 guys. Right? We have 6 guys, and then there's a big talent drop off. And those guys are Lynn Kidd, Brandon Johnson, Matthew Cleveland, Jalen Blackman, Nigel Pack, and Jaleel Bethea. And then there's a big drop to like other guys that are still going to have to play because, again, we actually have depth this year, like Joe Bay.
They're more serviceable.
Right, with Divine and Stat McRae will get some minutes, but there's a gap there. And so those 6 guys need to log most of the minutes. Like if we have someone else on the court, there's still a talent drop off. And I feel like I'm sure he's got, look, Coach L's great. Like I'm not trying to say he's like lost out there. I'm not sure to what end we're doing this right now.
I mean, last year Coach L was dealing with like having like 3 players healthy at one time. So he's got more players that he can now put on the court. But I mean, I think we can all agree Jaleel needs more minutes.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's where we disagree. That's isn't an agreement. Like where players should get less minutes. I think that's where we disagree on.
Well, no, where are the minutes coming from? They gotta come from Stat and McRae. I'm not cutting Jalen Blackman's minutes or Nigel's or Matthew Cleveland's.
So
where are they coming from?
Matt.
Okay. So the one thing I will say, because I feel like it's not noted enough, is watching Stat McRae offensively hasn't been really getting it going. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't taken a lot of shots either, but to me, he's never going to be the guy that's initiating offense on his own, right? Like he's going to be a catch and shoot guy. Maybe he gets a drive off of like someone over helping or whatever. Where he really makes a difference, and it's reminiscent of like what Jordan Miller really did for us. Obviously, Jordan Miller's a different player, is the amount of help side he provides defensively. It's stuff that doesn't show up on the box score. By far best defender, off ball, and I would say even on ball too. Probably responsible, I want to say, for like half the turnovers forced last game. Not direct steals, but forced them to make bad passes, got deflection, someone else got the steal. His minutes are going to go down for sure, but I just don't think he should be out of the rotation.
So I mean, is in the rotation getting a handful of minutes per game. I think because I don't between Nigel, Jalen, and Jaleel and Matthew Cleveland, like how many minutes are there actually there? If Divine's also going to take the backup point guard minutes.
Well, and this is what I'm curious about too. I want to talk about this a little bit too, because they weren't expecting Divine to play at all this year.
Right.
So what was the plan for the backup point guard?
I'm assuming it must have been Jalen Blackman, right? Because there's no one else on the team that could even remotely run it.
Yeah. So, I mean,
what that would have done is open up more minutes to the guard, right? Because if Divine's redshirted out of sight, out of mind, then then you can rotate and then there's more guard minutes there. But without that, like Jaleel needs to get his 30 a game, man. Like
30 minutes.
Yeah. So at least.
Is there a time where we do this go small ball and have like 4 guards on the court and Lynn Kidd or something?
Well, the thing I'm worried about is if we have Nigel, Jalen, and Jaleel all on the floor, you got to take a look at, I mean, how are we going to rebound on possessions? How are we going to defend? I mean, who's going to guard the best defender that's a guard on the other team? I think a lot of this is situational too, right? Like depending on who we play. But I don't know. Until we see Jaleel kind of take another step forward defensively, I don't know how comfortable I am with that.
Well, so there's what 90 minutes or 120 minutes at the wing positions, right? So if we want Nigel, Jalen, Jaleel, and Matthew Cleveland to, let's say, at least 30 minutes a game, which isn't actually a lot for our college starters. That's even low. That leaves another 30 minutes. 10 10-ish to Divine if he's running back a point. I guess the other 20 are Stat and McCray, like if you really want to just do math with it. But obviously, we probably want all of those 4 guys I mentioned up front.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, it's a thing of like I think he's going to play.
Actually, my math didn't work. So actually, if
well, there's also going to be more minutes available right now.
No, actually, if you play,
Johnson's having to play the 5, so then you got to have somebody at the 4 also.
Right, but actually, if you play Jaleel, Jalen, Nigel, and Matthew 30 minutes a game each, that sucks up all of the minutes.
Yeah,
but as Melissa said, Matthew's going to have to play some time at the 4, but Joe Bay will as well.
And the thing too with Cleveland, he played exactly 20 minutes both games, right? I think it was.
He played 20 this last game, yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to be like I don't know if that's a coincidence or if he's going to be like on a minutes restriction.
Yeah, it's hard to say without knowing what. I mean, look, there's what happened there.
Yeah.
I mean, Cleveland was very active. He had 11 rebounds. I mean, I don't know if he's fully healthy, but
he's
doing that. Coach is going to have him on the floor a lot
because
rebounding.
I mean, he's playing his position, and it's a night and day difference in terms of how comfortable he is actually playing small forward versus playing power forward.
And he's taking good looks. I know he didn't make all of his shots, but like I like his shot selection, and I still think his mid range game is legit.
And Matt, you're right. It's exactly 20 minutes each of the games, which
so that's why
way too coincidental to be on accident.
Yeah, it's way too coincidental, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I think we can all agree that Cleveland should be starting.
Yeah, we don't have size, so I don't know where is it coming from.
There's no size. Our backup center is injured, so we have Lynn Kidd and Brandon Johnson.
And I think we need to be realistic about look, Kyrie Huey was a depth piece. He's not. It's not like we have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar coming back off the bench. Like I think there's a compelling argument to. If Lynn Kidd's not on the court, we've been playing Brandon Johnson at center. I mean, that's significantly taller than the center we played last year. So there's a compelling argument that, hey, as we start rotating players in, when you say where the minutes come from, as Melissa pointed out, well, Matthew can play some at the 4. Joe Bacon needs some minutes at the 4. Brandon Johnson can be the backup center. And you can rotate that way and keep more talented players on the court. There's not really a backup big, and we don't even know if and when Huey's coming back. He might not even play this year.
His hand is still in a thing.
Yeah, so I mean, really, if he comes back in February, at that point, it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Matt.
Just to address one of the comments, Pat can't lead the team in shots. Why not? Just curious why the best shooter can't lead the team in shots. I want to know.
It's a good question.
Yeah, great question.
I also do want to say, I mean, obviously we haven't played like better competition yet, but if Jobe can play like he has played, then I think you can trust him with minutes at the 4. At least like he looks like he's become more confident offensively, where you can trust him to make good decisions. But hopefully that continues with better competition.
I will say there was a couple of questionable decisions that he did have. He got bailed out with a foul on one of them. He tried to take a layup that was like one of the worst angles I've ever seen.
I mean, he only took one shot and it was 2 or 2 from the free throw line, so he didn't do much offensively. But
yeah, but no, I mean he looks a lot more improved, but it's still like I'm just a little hesitant on him. But
I'm saying if he can continue doing the good things against better competition, then he could be serviceable there for like 10 minutes or something. I mean, ideally you want Brandon Johnson there, but he's got to sit at some point.
Can't play him 40 minutes.
Can't play 40 minutes. And I don't know if you're willing to move Cleveland to the 4 at some point with how he's looking playing his normal position. I guess we'll see. Cleveland does look much more confident.
But the minutes have to come from somewhere, right? We can't just say, well, this guy's going to play and that guy's. Not everyone can play. It's not Make-A-Wish. It's a basketball team, and so.
Please put that in a recap.
Recap. Oh my god.
It's not Make-A-Wish. Oh,
that
man.
was fucking hilarious. Oh, sorry. There goes
It's just fine. That's not going to the week. The effing hilarious is not going there. No, but I mean, look, to me, when you think about where this team reaches their ceiling, it is with maximizing the 6 guys we talked about's minutes. That means they got to come from somewhere. So yeah, that does mean Matthew playing at the 4 sometimes, just because, as you said, Brandon Johnson can't play every minute there, but Brandon Johnson's also the backup center. So there's going to be, he's going to play his time at the 4 and then slide over to the 5, and which means there's a lot of backup 4 minutes, more so than there normally would be if we had a backup center. So Matthew's probably going to have to play at the 4 quite a bit to make sure we have enough minutes for, our Jalen, Nigel, and Jaleel. And then, I'm curious if Divine continues to be, getting significant, even though I've been really impressed with him. When it gets to a situation where you're playing better opponents, you're not going to play that many guys. And then, you have to start really think about this. Like, as we start, because we experienced this last year, yeah, we can talk about the injuries and all this. But there were certainly times where we're watching these games like Jakai does not need to be on the court right now. Right. And
you're going to get to a point where you're going to slide Brandon Johnson to the 5. You're going to want Cleveland at the 4 because he's more trustworthy as far as everything.
I think that's the case, like across the rotation, right? So as you start getting into, now it's fine, it's easy, right? You start getting into these higher leverage situations, there'll be a time where like, hey, there's 10 minutes left in this game in the second half. I don't want Divine on the court right now. Sorry, we're playing at North Carolina or something. It needs to be Nigel. It needs to be Jalen.
You'll see Jaleel Backman playing the point if Nigel Pack needs a rest for a minute. That's what's going to happen.
Right. So I do think you'll see some minutes come from there.
Yeah. I think right now, because of the competition, he's playing everyone to see what he's got. But
I think as I look ahead to playing better competition, there's the 6 guys I want to eat most of the minutes. And then there's other guys I think we're going to play, which is Stat and McCray more so, and then Joe Bay and Divine probably a little bit less. But there's 6 guys I'm like, if we have a combination of these, and I know this is a flashback to last year saying 6 guys, but if we have a combination of those 5 of those 6 on the court, then I think you're like, okay, that's good. But that was noticeable last year, even before the injuries, when we'd rotate in a 7th guy. Like, that guy should not be on the court right now. Like, it's a clutch situation. We need our best players out there. And as we get into those more competitive games against tougher teams, that's more you're going to be saying that to yourself.
It'll be interesting to see as we kind of do the tournament and the little, what are we doing, a Charleston Classic, and then the SEC ACC tournament against Arkansas. It'll be interesting to see what the rotation is.
I mean, we have a couple of inflection points, right? Yeah, there's a tournament in Charleston
and Tennessee,
there's a tournament in Charleston, and then in a row, it's Arkansas, Clemson, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That 3-game stretch, we need to be ready to go. We cannot fuck that stretch up. That'll tank that.
Wins.
We also have Mount St. Mary's too.
We got Coppin State coming up on Sunday. So
Mount St. Mary's has one of the greatest bench presences I've ever seen.
Wait, what is that? What does that mean?
Their celebrations and stuff. I don't know if they still do it, but they have some like crazy celebrations they do. It's funny.
So on December 21st, they're going to be annoying the crap out of me. Is what you're saying?
100%.
All right.
You'll just see all the guys on the bench.
Actually, I think I might not be able to go to that game. I think I'm flying back from DC to Miami that day. But Oof, and that's the last game before break. Ooh, we have to do some flight movements. All right. Let me get out here in the morning instead to make sure I can hit that. Anyway, yeah. So as I said, the next game for the men is Coppin State, and then that's on Sunday, and then next week they're in Charleston, open with old friends Drake.
Yay.
And then from there, depends on if you win or lose. But I mean, so I guess. I mean, will we do a show before next Thursday? Probably, right? So we'll talk about that.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think we need to do that now. We want to do Coppin State predictions? Just kidding.
A lot to a little.
So the other teams just in that Charleston tournament, it's Drake, FAU, us, Nevada, Oklahoma State, Seton Hall, Vanderbilt, VCU.
Do you guys know what defense Coppin State runs?
A 3-2 zone.
Do they?
No, I have no idea. But it'd be funny.
It's not even that Stonehill ran the 3-2 zone, is that they didn't move on defense. So it was literally like a static.
I know, that's what made it so bad.
It's like
I could have drilled like 5 threes against them.
It's like you're supposed to move, not just stand there.
It's the most movement I've seen in a zone.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a pretty decent field for the Charleston Classic. So we'll see how we hold up there.
Are we moving on to Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore.
It's time to get to the non-basketball portion of the show. Matt, do you have a final thoughts for tonight? I forgot to ask you.
I do not actually.
So be thinking while we do our Mount Rushmore. So tonight's Mount Rushmore, we're having to just kind of come up with any ideas possible because we've done a lot of Mount Rushmores. But tonight's Mount Rushmore is our list of favorite video game characters. Do we want to do snake format again?
Sure.
Who wants to go first? I like that middle spot. The middle spot's my favorite.
Matt, do you want to
go? Sure, I'll go. Oh, who am I going to take first? Oh. Who do I have on my list? Okay. First pick. Going with a game I grew up on. I'm going with Master Chief from Halo.
Master Chief?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know
anyway.
what that is either. I'm gonna take my favorite video game character of all time. I actually still have the stuffed animal sitting on my dresser. It's like the only stuffed animal I kept from my childhood, and that's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nice.
I remember playing that on Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I'm gonna have very different answers than you guys.
I think so.
All right, Vitch.
The ball from Pong. No, I'm just kidding.
I knew it. I was literally gonna say that right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that old. I think I pretty much overlap with Melissa. She'll have heard of what I'm going to answer. So I get 2 in a row here. So the first one, Crash Bandicoot.
What?
You don't remember Crash Bandicoot?
No.
What, are you serious? It's the same generation as Sonic.
I don't remember Crash.
Anyway. Matt has no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm going to ask him. But okay, look, Matt knows Crash Bandicoot. What's wrong with you, Melissa?
Yeah. Come on, dog.
Yeah. What's happening here? I'm going to go off the board a little weird. I don't know if you guys remember this. This was not like that popular a game. Remember Star Fox?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So I don't know what seeped into the later generations. So Star Fox. I go with Star Fox.
You all know Sonic, right?
Super Smash Bros. Dog.
Yeah, of course we know. Of course we know Sonic. I don't know him from Super Smash Bros. I know him from fucking Star Fox.
That's what he's from, right? He's in Super Smash Bros.
That might be where you know him, but Star Fox was its own game. That was before any of that. That's what I played.
My next favorite is my favorite from Mario Kart to play as, and all of my friends growing up know that they were never allowed to take this character, and that was Yoshi.
There you go.
I was worried somebody was going to take that because I took some.
I purposely did not because you mentioned it before the show. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I steered clear of Mario Kart.
All right, Matt,
Is
you
it my
got 2.
turn? Oh, dude. Next one. I mean, got to go with the game I was obsessed with as a kid. My Game Boy. Pokemon, man. I got to take Pikachu.
Oh yeah, yo,
That's-
Pokemon Snap. What was it called? The one where you have to take pictures.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Snap or something.
I used
Next
to
one.
rent that from Blockbuster all the time.
There you go.
For those of you in the '90s generation that remember Blockbuster Video, and you can rent video games.
So this is a little after you guys, but backyard baseball is huge. And so
Pablo.
I got to take the best athlete of all time from the backyard sports.
Pablo
Sanchez.
I love Pablo. Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yep,
Dang it.
that's my pick.
Oh man,
Most overpowered character.
Pablo
love him.
Sanchez was the freaking
Dog.
best. Yo, I used to play that all the time. I'd always have Pablo. I would take like Kevin Garnett. Lisa Leslie was on it, like the backyard basketball one.
Yeah.
Bro, Pablo Sanchez, like a legend. Man, I forgot about that game. Crazy.
I don't have a fourth one, so I'm kind of screwed here. I'm looking.
So my third one, I gotta go with my Super Smash Brothers player character of choice because I always played as this person when I played it, even though I was really bad at it, and that was Link.
There you go.
All right, so I get two to finish off here.
Man, Pablo Sanchez.
What
He would
pull.
totally be on my list. I totally forgot about that game though. But as soon as you said it, I said Pablo.
Let's see. So I got to do a Mario Kart one. Koopa Troopa.
Okay.
And then, do I just want to go basic here? Yeah, you got to go with the OG, just Mario. Mario's got to be somewhere on here. I mean, it's freaking Mario.
Fourth one. I used to play that. I don't even remember if it was on. I think this was on Super Nintendo. I used to play like I don't know what it was called. It was like The Adventures of Donkey Kong, or like where it was like Donkey Kong's story and you played through different levels. And I always loved Diddy Kong Racing also. So I'm trying to decide. Oh, you know what? Forget that. I gotta go with the cheat code of Street Fighter and go with E Honda.
Why was he the cheat code?
Because he was this fat dude that just
I know exactly who he is, but
with the long arm.
Yeah, but you just jump over it.
E Honda was the best in his little diaper because he was like a sumo wrestler.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I played Street Fighter as well.
I'm going with E Honda.
And then when Super Street Fighter 2 dropped, that was the shit. But I didn't view E Honda as a cheat code.
Honorable mention to Pablo Sanchez since I couldn't pick him, but he would totally be on my
Can't honorable mention one of my picks. What the hell is this?
Well, no, because I can't actually put him on my list, but I just have to honorable mention him because I totally forgot about the backyard games, and Pablo Sanchez was a legend. So, all right, Matt, what's your fourth?
Jeez, I'm just gonna go with a game I played a lot of. That was GTA 5. So it's the main character from GTA 5, Nico Bellic.
Nico?
Yeah, Nico Bellic. Great game. I don't even remember how old I was when I played that. I don't know if it was appropriate at the age I was playing it, but good game.
I don't think GTA was appropriate for any kid growing up.
Yeah, probably not.
It's not appropriate for adults.
I was like playing Mortal Kombat as a kid.
I was about to say my honorable mention would be Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. They had to get the Genesis version because you could put in a code and it would show blood.
Bro,
Nintendo wouldn't put blood on their games, so there was no blood on the Nintendo version.
Paris says Nico, I'm Master Chief. It's over.
Hey,
I forgot about backyard baseball. Man, that brings back some memories.
so good.
Anyone who ever played that loved Pablo was the best.
I have it on my laptop still.
Do you really?
It. Yeah, you can play it.
Dang. Such a classic.
So good. Oh, I don't have a final thoughts.
Do we need to stall while you think of one?
Sure.
So what's coming up? The women play at Florida on
Saturday, and then the men play Coppin State on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yep.
Tickets are probably like $5 for the home game. So
Let me check. The men's tickets are usually a little bit more expensive. So
I don't know. Me and Vish will be there.
Yeah, we will be there.
What time is it? What time is it on Sunday?
2 p.m.
Oh, we could possibly do a pre-lunch.
We could. The tickets are. This can't be right. These gotta be season tickets. These are season tickets. What to say?
Me and Vish may be at Titanic on Sunday.
Could be. This time you won't
All right, I
go
can't think of
off
something,
menu.
but go ahead.
I tried to order something different at Titanic and it was terrible.
All right. The tickets. The cheapest tickets are $9 for Coppin State.
There you go. Cue it. Don't cry. Keep it chill. Wear good socks.